Guys, this is also as an audio version, so could you please introduce yourselves for the listeners who aren't viewing the show?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Glenn, and I play guitar and sing, and sometimes I play the organ.
Mm-hmm. Brendan, I play the drums.
I'm Steven, and I play guitar.
There you go. Hello, guys.
Hi.
So we were just speaking, like, your perception was that Lisbon was more like LA, and Porto was like more like San Francisco. Did I hear this correct?
Yeah, that was mainly based on the fact that it was very foggy in Porto, and the way the city was kind of stacked up reminded us of San Francisco, and also that it was north and LA was south. But I think that's pretty much where the analogy ends. Also, we were just tired, just like, whoa, San Francisco, man.
Plus, it's been extremely foggy over here. You know,
That's fogged up, man.
Fogged up for the past week or so. So it's been extremely. And Nônô has been did live in San Francisco for a while. So we're actually speaking about this, like how Lisbon was apparently very similar to San Francisco during the past week. Really.
Wow.
So there you go.
Wow, there you have it.
Insightful.
Foggy notion.
Exactly. Is it your first time over here? Because I don't know. I really don't know.
Triptides played in 2014 at Rock in Rio at the big park near the airport. I forget what it was called. Parc de la Ciutat.
Yeah, that's Barcelona.
No, yeah. What is it?
That's
Parque.
Parque de Bella Vista.
Yeah, Bella Vista.
Yeah.
Exacto. Yeah, we played, and like the Rolling Stones were playing like the main stage, and we played the Vodafone stage. But these guys actually joined the band later on, so this is their first time in Portugal.
First time Portugal.
Yeah, first time.
Long time, first time.
Good time.
I apologize. This is just dumb.
Long time.
This is just dumb. Still, it's first time, long time, first time caller, long time listener, first time caller. Exactly. Still,
Oh yeah.
That old chestnut.
that old exactly. I didn't know that. That's because I haven't been to Rock in Rio since, even for work.
Really?
Since 2006. Really?
Really?
Really.
That's a really long time.
I just realized that I haven't been there.
Oh, that joke rocks. Well, Bella Vista, man.
Bella Vista means good view.
Yeah, and I was up there playing, and I thought, hell of a vista up here, man. It looks pretty cool.
Pretty bella as far as vistas go.
Yeah, it was pretty bella. Molto belle. Muito bella.
What do you remember from back then?
I remember driving around with my friend Anna Viati. She actually works at Music Box.
She's a good friend of ours. Yeah.
Yeah, her and a couple other friends of hers. We all.
Tell me it's Joanna and Raquel.
Yeah, Raquel and Joanna, exactly. Yeah, the Side Stage Collective, they hosted us, and
Kisses to them.
Beijus.
Exactly.
And we had a great time. It was our first big festival appearance, so it was kind of a big deal for us, and everyone got pretty excited about music after that, so that was cool. And it was great. And now, all the guys that were accompanying the band on that trip are doing more touring. Everyone's in different bands now, but we're still all doing the same thing, so it's cool.
Is Josh still part of the band? I know, because I have no idea of band politics and stuff like that.
Josh is no longer playing with Triptides, but he's still playing with other bands, and he's actually on tour in Europe right now, so he's still doing the same stuff. We just had to figure out how to manage our time and reprioritize some things after 8 years or however long it was.
Awesome. Okay. But still good vibes. There's Awesome. Very
all good, man.
Great. Tudo bem. Tudo bem. Learn your Portuguese. Tudo bem. I'll put some subtitles on it.
Oh yeah, subtítulos.
Legendas, actually.
Legendas.
There's
Portuñol.
There's Portuñol. These are excellent. This show isn't even necessarily very Portuguese driven, so to speak. Okay. So I just ask the questions about Portugal because it's always interesting for us, but still I haven't really. It's not really. It goes out worldwide, really. So it's for everyone, really. So just learn your Portuguese. That's why not. So it isn't for a Portuguese audience because obviously they would know how to say tudo bem. Enough about me. Visitors, were you guys visited by aliens, really?
No, but we have a good friend named Stu, and he has been visited by some orbs, which we're not sure if they're aliens or people from the future coming back to make sure that we're doing okay in our simulated reality, the simulated reality theory. You guys have something to add?
I don't know what he's talking about.
Okay.
Stu, we love you and we care about you.
And your orbs.
And your orbs.
Yeah. Do they walk around with them? Like in the parallel dimension or something?
No, they just they appear briefly and then they like swirl around in like a cube and then they disappear. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
And usually it's connected to a San Pedro cacti.
Okay.
They're thought to maybe be beacons for the orb people or orb.
The orb people.
Beings, yeah.
Okay. So I'm not judging. I just don't know what it is.
Oh, I don't either. I'm just telling you what I heard. Just passing along the info. No, I haven't seen anything, so I don't know. But I do like the idea of the aliens, and I'm sure there's something out there because it would be totally closed-minded to say we're the only like sentient beings in the galaxy or whatever. But that kind of was inspired by the Birds. Roger McGuinn was really into aliens, like Mr. Spaceman, and talking about aliens coming to the farm or whatever, and waking up and their names written on the wall and toothpaste or whatever, and weird stuff like that.
Oh yeah, for sure. Aliens are cool. Yeah.
They made some like bird songs that he thought we could actually like beam into space and like tell the aliens we were here, and he was very much involved with that, or believed in it at least. Yeah.
I think that someone who was also visited by aliens was Roy Orb, his son.
Oh, Rocky Erickson.
Rob Orb.
Roy
I'm
Orb.
sorry. Did I say Rob?
You outdid me.
That's pretty. Roy Orb, his son.
Oh man. Roy Orbison.
You can say those
Well, I was thinking because Rocky Erickson is another like big alien character in the rock and roll canon, so I wasn't sure if you were saying that or I don't know. I got confused.
Fascinated by the orbs now.
We're all fascinated by the orbs.
The orbs
We're truly fascinated.
Are the orbs in some way or another on the record?
I don't think they're on the record. No, off the record. Definitely.
Off the record, definitely. Yeah. Okay.
Next record for sure.
Next record for sure. It's all about the orbs.
100%.
It's all about the
every second.
That's the name of the record.
Orb.
All about the orbs, maybe. That would be if it were a rap record, maybe.
Yeah, maybe we'll just call it orb stuff, or I don't know, like Orby.
Ordinary stuff.
Oh no, he's bad. He's bad.
Okay. So these visitors, did they do anything? Like, or did they have any action, or they were just there and fascinating just to look at? Really?
Like the orbs or the ones in the record?
The ones on the record. Yes.
So that's just more like a metaphor for like psychedelic drugs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not really about aliens, I guess. It's more like you took acid and you like thought you went crazy, but like you say the aliens abducted you or something and your head's all scrambled, but it's mainly like you came down from acid and you're like tripped out or whatever. And it's like an allegory or a metaphor or whatever you want to call it, an analogy. Yeah.
For that would be it.
Oh yeah, I don't know. I guess it's a metaphor, right? Yeah, he went to school.
Yeah. It's not a simile.
No.
It's a metaphor, not a simile.
Totally.
Like her ass.
Exactly.
Oh,
That's clever. Good on you.
Dang, English major over here.
There you go.
English major.
While we're on this, I don't know if you get asked this a lot. I try not to ask the same thing as everyone else, but as is Baron. But I hope. So, do you guys have any stories about experiences with hallucinogenic drugs or psychedelic drugs? Like, for instance, because I remember like some stories about pots of rice coming to life and stuff like that.
No,
not really.
No, really, no.
No. Okay. There you go.
Never taken any.
No. Because the album is about that. I don't want you guys to go on the record.
Right, yeah.
But you just said that.
You know that I'm gonna say that, but I don't want to get detailed.
Okay. No, that's totally fine. Totally fine. I'm not putting you on the
I'm
spot.
not saying I did it.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that's what it's about.
Yeah.
Maybe it was the orb.
Maybe it was the orbs. I don't know. A friend told me something that it was really crazy.
The orb guy. Yeah.
Orbman.
The Orbman. Okay, so you have songs on the record that mention Saturday and Sunday. Are those the most important days of the week? Then we shift to completely. Yeah. Are they?
Maybe. I mean,
yeah.
Saturday's the one day people don't go to work and everyone wants to go out, and Sunday has always been like the crux of religion and all this stuff. It's an important day forever. I don't know why, like maybe those are the most important days.
For everyone.
Sun,
Yeah, the sun is like a universal thing. Like Aztecs love the sun, Egypt love the sun. Cultures separated by, an ocean that develops simultaneously, and both worship the sun and everything. Maybe the sun's really important. And
Sunday,
yeah,
You just worship.
and who doesn't like an ice cream sundae? Am I right? Come on, here we go.
There you go. There's wordplay. You caught me. I have no Sunday puns or wordplay. There you go.
I've
Cherry on top,
now it's a sadder day.
That's clever. Good job.
Yeah, I don't know. I just those are always like kind of nostalgic days and nice things to sing about. I mean, Friday on My Mind, Easy Beats, Gentle Thursday, Music Emporium. I don't know. Wednesday, I don't know. There's been songs about everything, I guess. Tuesday's Gone with the Wind. Monday, Mamas and the Papas. I guess we didn't want to retread ground that had already been tread, or maybe it just sounded cool at the time when I said it on the recording on the demo, and that was it. I don't know. It wasn't really thought out.
Is there a song about Thursday yet?
Gentle Thursday by there's a band called Music Emporium from San Francisco, and then there's another song about Thursday from like the first Stone Roses record, I think.
Oh.
What's that song called?
I know, but I think there's something.
It's something about Thursday.
What's the one, right? Thursday's Child.
Thursday's
Oh, the
Child.
Bowie, Thursday's Child. Yeah, exactly. Good job.
Whoa.
So the David Bowie one. Yeah. Plus, there's a whole band called Thursday. The emo guys.
Oh, yeah.
Screamo guys. The Screamo guys. Yeah. So there's Thursday.
Back Thursday, yeah.
Taking Back Thursday as well. Good.
Is that a band? Am I just making that up?
Taking Back
Sunday.
Taking Back Sunday.
No, we're taking it back.
Sunday.
I don't know.
There you go. There's still a whole band called Thursday.
Sunday in the Park, that song was actually a nod to Gilberto Gil,
was it?
Domingo no Parque.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's the same, right?
It's exactly the same. Yeah, exactly. Good. You're working on a Portuguese. Fantastic.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Listening to you guys, one would, not necessarily myself, but I guess like people who know a little bit about music would say that you guys play mostly Rickenbackers, but that's not necessarily true, right?
That's not true at all, because my guitar is a fake Rickenbacker.
Is it?
It's a Fakenbacher.
I've seen you play a Mustang, a Fender Mustang.
Oh, I've always played the Mustang, yeah. But Steven's also playing an interesting guitar called a Rare Bird. It's like a custom-made guitar, and he also plays a. You need to talk about it?
Old Telecaster. I play a Telecaster mostly on this tour.
And what about the Rickenbacker that isn't?
The Fakenbacher?
Yeah, the Fakenbacher.
Yeah, that is an old Dillian guitar from, I think it's Japanese
Korean,
or
I think, but it's designed in the brand's Canadian, I believe. But they're kind of hard to find. Brennan plays with some groups like kind of Beatles tribute bands, and they're looking for Rickenbacker copies.
Yeah.
And I guess they can't find them.
Yeah, hard to find the 12 string, specifically the 12 string, which is used a lot in our music.
And it has a very specific sound. That's why I was asking that.
Exactly. I couldn't afford a real Rickenbacker, and I don't want to bring something that's like that expensive on the tours. It's
Even the
kinda-
basses that are quite common are really expensive.
Oh yeah, like the 4001s
Yeah.
or 4003. Yeah. Those are. I would love to get one of those, like the Paul McCartney Sgt. Pepper's thing. But
So Rickenbacker, if you're listening,
yeah, we would love all those guitars. And Dillian,
360 would be great.
we'd love to upgrade. Let's do it.
Get on it, Rickenbacker. Do your work. Yeah, just support the bands that are cool. show is called Made of Things, and it's based on the idea that you guys dedicate yourselves to art, in your case music or whatever, whichever else, because you heard something or you read something or you experienced something that made you go, oh, I want to do this as long as possible. Did you guys have that? And if so, what was it? I'll start with you, Stephen.
I think it was the first time that I ever set foot on stage. I just got this insane feeling in my gut that was like, all right, you need to be doing this for the rest of your life or as long as you possibly can. And
was it at school?
No, it was that Tabernacle show. So
But you played acoustic stuff before, right?
But that was
different?
talent shows.
Right.
And shit. That's nothing revelatory about that.
Yeah,
but the first crowd that I played in front of, it just gave me a feeling unlike any other I'd ever felt, and constantly chasing that. I sound like a heroin addict, but it's
Sure. Positive way, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it is
the fix.
Yeah. It is a little bit like that, though. It's very intoxicating, kind of otherworldly. So always looking for that and finding it a lot.
I think I've heard about the Tabernacle. Is it a cool venue?
Yeah, it's from our hometown of Atlanta, Georgia.
It was an old church that got converted into a venue at some point.
I think I heard about it, about that. And you guys have played. I saw on the tour dates list that you played Shacklewell Arms and Hope and Ruin in the UK. I've been to both of those, and those are great. And the Sabotage as well. So it's funny because it sounded familiar. It's Tabernacle.
Well, I earliest thing I can recall is I was always in a band with my father growing up.
Really?
And I had started playing drums because there was a lack of drummer, and so my dad bought me drums, and so I just started to it right away. And I remember growing up, and my dad would have his friends over all night jam sessions, and I was always really jealous that they were hanging out, smoking and drinking and stuff, and it was like a gang, in my basement, while my mom was out of town for work. So we're always having parties growing up, and so pretty much. If you're listening, sorry, mom. But so I was always kind of jealous of that, and I always felt like I wanted to be part of a gang, almost a happy gang, not a mean gang.
Not Blunt and Cribs.
A happy musical gang.
Sure.
And I remember starting little gangs in school, and we used to dress up as the Beatles and pretend to be them. It's kind of a classic story. And
I did that as well, actually.
Yeah,
no one knows. I've never spoken about this, but I did it as well.
We were at
school.
Yeah, for sure. And then I eventually conned some of my friends into buying instruments for Christmas and making them play music with me.
Fantastic.
And then my father would take me to concerts at Aragon Ballroom in Chicago, where I grew up and I'm from. And specifically one show, after I saw it, it was the coolest thing ever. And I was like, this is totally it. And it was at that crucial time going into high school where no one really knows what they wanted to do, but I was always lucky enough to know what I wanted to do. So
What show was it?
it was the White Stripes at Aragon Ballroom. It was July 2nd of 2003. Yeah, it was that summer before high school. So they did a 2-night run, and I was in a duo with my dad, and he's from Detroit. They're from Detroit.
Yeah.
So he was like, hey, we're into cool new music, and I threw it off. I only liked The Who and the Stones and stuff, and then I really got into them. And Grateful Dead, they reminded me of all the bands my dad showed me into one, and I'd never seen anything like it. So
it's very different, and for sure something that makes. I went through the same experience with also at that point, like in 2003 more or less, 2002. I was just listening to older bands, but from the 70s mostly, and prog rock and stuff like that. And then I felt like I was missing out on new bands, and for instance, Strokes and White Stripes were some of those shows that made me come back to current music, really. So I feel the same.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
They
It's
have
cool
that
to know.
power, more or less.
For sure, for sure.
And Mars Volta, I guess.
Oh, I loved Mars Volta. I received attention because I missed 8th period to go see them in Chicago.
Totally worth it, right?
Totally worth it. I loved that drummer at the time. He was one of my favorites of a new performer. I'm blanking on the name, but he's in Queens of the Stone Age.
John Theodore.
John Theodore, that's right. Yeah, so cool. Cool.
What about you, Glenn?
My dad was a piano player, so he made all of us kids, me and my brother and sister, play the piano, and I actually really got a kick out of it. And they kind of went through it and played because that was part of the being in the family. But I kind of like would sit at the piano and play a bunch and kind of mess around. And I remember my grandma freaking out because I heard these little, we had these like nutcrackers, like the Christmas ones, and you'd string them up and they'd play like ding, 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 like back to forth. And I like went to the piano and was like ding, 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 ding. And she's like, whoa, he just played that. And they're all like real stoked about it. They're like, hey, just hear 7 playing. It was like the easiest thing looking back on it. But they were like, okay, Glenn's going to be the guy that plays the piano. And they kind of like let my other siblings quit and do sports, but they're like, you have to keep playing. And I was like, oh man. And then my brother got a guitar and I like started like getting into guitar. I heard a Led Zeppelin song and I freaked out, I was really obsessed with it. I was really into the Beatles as a kid too. My grandma liked the Beatles. She was from England. So she was like, oh yeah, the Beatles, England. But then,
I grew up on the Beatles as well. I totally understand. Yeah,
so good.
From 5 to 10, I heard nothing else.
We had the Beatles 1 CD, the red one with the 1 on it, the yellow
I had the
one.
Past Masters one. I grew up on that.
Those are great too. My dad had the blue and the red ones too. The blue, early one, blue. And then, there's a talent show at the end of junior high when I was like 13, and I was like, I want to play this, and I found some kids to play with me, and started my first band, and we played Layla.
Wow.
And then another band came on and played "Smells Like Teen Spirit" and blew us out of the water. We looked like a bunch of idiots because we tried to play like a really hard song. Oh man! But like after that, I was really into old music only, that shit. And then like I saw the Allman Brothers in Georgia. My friend's dad was cool. Took me to see like Leonard Skinner and the Allman Brothers, like southern rock stuff. But it was cool. And then my brother was really into the Dead and like Fish and like jam bands. So I would go see jam bands. But then after a while, like I heard the Strokes or something. Yeah. And I was like, I don't want to listen to any more of this jam band stuff. Like, what am I doing? Like, this is like more immediate. It was new. It was strong. And I was like, okay, new music's cool. And I got into like, the classics like Shin, Strokes, Death Cab for Cutie, Grizzly Bear, like late high school stuff. And then that inspired me to write my own music. I was doing like only covers with my friends. And then I was like, oh, they're still writing songs. I guess I can write songs. I can like put something in the universe still. And now here we are. I don't know, It's been a long trip, a lot of different influences and stuff. Not that we're going to go the influence.
No, we aren't. It's a way of going to influences, but that's not the point.
Right.
The point is really, we end up talking about influences was much more about your personal motives, really.
Right, yeah.
And what makes you want to do this. It's like, we tend to end on this, and it's like the most serious question, and we tend to get very silly most of the time. So I guess we have a regular episode, not particularly not a regular. I apologize. That's judgmental, but it's how it is.
Right on, man.
That's how it is. Cool. Thank you guys. This was very fun.
Yeah. Obrigado.
Obrigado. De nada. Obrigado. Thanks, man.